Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. The football world is buzzing in a way that feels different. Almost electric, because when whispers start turning into loud locker room conversations, you know something big might be unfolding behind the scenes. The idea of the Eagles making a bold, almost shocking move involving Myles Garrett is the kind of rumor that grabs attention instantly. This is not the type of speculation that fades away. After a few minutes of debate on social media, it lingers, grows legs, and starts connecting dots that fans did not even realize were there before. The Eagles have always been known as an organization that moves quietly, studies deeply, and then strikes when no one is fully prepared. That is why this story feels so believable to many insiders. The front office understands windows of opportunity, and there is a sense that they believe the time to be aggressive is right now. Myles Garrett represents more than just elite talent. He symbolizes dominance, fear, and a defensive presence that can change how opponents build their entire game plan. When a name like his is linked to Philadelphia, it sends a message that the franchise may be thinking bigger than anyone expected, possibly reshaping the balance of power in the league. What makes this rumor even more fascinating is how it fits into the Eagles' broader philosophy of team building. For years, they have invested heavily in the trenches, believing that games are won and lost where strength, technique, and mentality collide on every snap. Bringing in a player like Myles Garrett would not be a random splash. It would be a calculated escalation of that philosophy. Sources close to this situation suggest that conversations behind closed doors have focused on legacy, timing, and the hunger to build something that opponents fear for seasons to come. Garrett is widely respected not only for his physical tools, but also for his preparation and leadership. The Eagles value players who elevate everyone around them, and that is exactly the reputation he carries. This rumor suggests that the organization is willing to make uncomfortable decisions, shuffle resources, and potentially sacrifice future flexibility to secure a transformational piece. Fans are reading between the lines, wondering if this is the moment the Eagles decide to go all in. There is also a strong emotional component to this speculation that cannot be ignored. Philadelphia is a city that thrives on intensity, toughness, and players who embrace pressure rather than shy away from it. Myles Garrett feels like a natural fit for that environment, at least on paper. His playing style mirrors the attitude the fan base loves: relentless, aggressive, and unapologetically dominant. Insiders whisper that the Eagles believe he would not only survive in that atmosphere, but flourish, feeding off the energy of the crowd and the expectations that come with wearing that uniform. This rumor paints a picture of a franchise envisioning packed stadiums, roaring fans, and opposing quarterbacks constantly looking over their shoulders. It is the kind of vision that excites ownership and energizes a locker room, while nothing is officially confirmed. The way this story is circulating suggests that the idea has been taken seriously at the highest levels of the organization. Another layer to this speculation involves the ripple effects such a move would have across the league. Teams that consider themselves contenders would be forced to reassess their plans if the Eagles truly land a player of Garrett's caliber. Offensive coordinators would spend sleepless nights adjusting schemes. Tackles would be measured against an even harsher standard, and divisional rivals would feel the pressure immediately. This is why the rumor refuses to die. It makes too much sense from a strategic standpoint, even if the logistics seem complicated. The Eagles have never been afraid of complexity if the reward justifies the risk. People around the league are quietly acknowledging that if any team could pull off something this bold, it would be Philadelphia. That belief alone keeps the speculation alive and growing. There is also talk about timing, and timing in the league is everything. Careers are short, windows are fragile, and opportunities vanish quickly. The Eagles might believe that adding a generational defensive force right now could maximize the potential of the current roster. This rumor suggests a front office acutely aware of where it stands, neither rebuilding nor complacent, but aggressively opportunistic. Myles Garrett, in this narrative, is not just another star. He is the missing piece that could tilt close games and define seasons. Fans are imagining scenarios, matchups, and moments that could become iconic. That imagination fuels engagement, discussion, and belief, which is exactly why this story has taken on a life of its own as the speculation continues to swirl. One thing becomes clear: this rumor has captured attention because it aligns ambition with possibility, whether it ultimately materializes or not. The conversation itself reveals how the Eagles are being perceived right now as a franchise unafraid to dream big and act boldly. Myles Garrett's name being connected to Philadelphia is more than gossip. It is a reflection of expectations, both internal and external. People believe the Eagles are capable of making a move that would shock the league, and that belief alone changes how every other team views them. In the world of professional football, perception often precedes reality, and right now, the perception is that something seismic might be brewing as this rumor evolves into deeper speculation. Attention naturally shifts toward what this potential move would mean inside the Eagles' locker room. Bringing in a player of Myles Garrett's stature would instantly alter dynamics, roles, and expectations. Veterans would feel a renewed sense of urgency. Younger players would gain a powerful example to follow. And coaches would have a new chess piece capable of redefining their defensive identity. The Eagles have always emphasized culture, and insiders believe they see Garrett as someone who fits that culture more than people might assume from the outside. This speculation suggests that conversations have gone beyond talent alone, focusing on mindset, leadership, and long-term vision. The idea is that Garrett would not just be a star visitor, but a cornerstone presence whose influence extends far beyond the stat sheet. That belief is what makes this rumor feel grounded, rather than reckless. There is also a financial and strategic narrative unfolding quietly beneath the surface. Speculation points to the Eagles exploring creative structures, cap flexibility, and long-range planning that could make such a move feasible. This is where the front office's reputation comes into play. Around the league, Philadelphia is known for finding ways to navigate complex situations without crippling future options. The rumor suggests that this potential agreement, if it exists, is being framed not as a gamble but as an investment. Myles Garrett is seen as someone who can anchor a defense for years, providing value that extends beyond a single season. Fans are debating whether the cost would be worth it, but many agree that elite defensive talent of this caliber rarely becomes available in any form. That rarity fuels the urgency behind the speculation. Another compelling aspect of this story is how it reshapes the narrative around the Eagles' competitive timeline. For some time, analysts have debated whether the team is building patiently or preparing for an immediate push. This rumor leans heavily toward the latter interpretation. Linking the Eagles to Garrett suggests a belief that the roster is closer to greatness than many realize. It implies confidence, not hesitation. The idea is that adding one truly dominant force could elevate everything else, turning strong performances into overwhelming ones. This kind of thinking resonates with fans who crave boldness and with players who want to compete at the highest level right now, even without confirmation. The message is powerful. The emotional reaction from the fan base also plays a significant role in keeping this rumor alive. Social conversations are filled with excitement, disbelief, and cautious optimism. Supporters are imagining the impact on rivalry games, the energy in the stadium, and the sense of pride that comes with landing a superstar. Philadelphia fans are known for their intensity, and this speculation taps directly into that passion. It feels like the kind of move that would unify the city, at least temporarily, around a shared sense of ambition. The rumor thrives in that emotional space, where hope and logic intersect just enough to feel real. At the same time, there is an understanding that moves of this magnitude rarely happen without resistance or complications. That tension adds another layer to the speculation. People are asking what the Eagles might have to give up, what risks are involved, and how the rest of the league would respond. These questions do not weaken the rumor. They strengthen it by making the discussion deeper and more nuanced. When speculation reaches this level of detail, it often means that something tangible has sparked it. Even skeptics admit that the consistency of the chatter feels unusual. Ultimately, this entire situation reflects how the Eagles are positioning themselves in the broader landscape of the league. Whether or not Myles Garrett ever puts on that uniform, the fact that this rumor exists and persists says a lot. It suggests a franchise that is being associated with bold thinking, high standards, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. Myles Garrett, in this narrative, becomes a symbol of that ambition. The speculation is not just about a player, it is about identity, direction, and belief. And until something definitively closes this chapter, the conversation will continue to grow, fueled by imagination, analysis, and the unmistakable feeling that something big could be happening behind the scenes. Strategically, the potential addition of Justin Jefferson would compel Philadelphia to reconfigure not only offensive schemes, but also game planning philosophies in ways that ripple across the NFC. Analysts speculate that the Eagles might adopt more aggressive passing strategies, leveraging Jefferson's deep threat capabilities to stretch defenses vertically while creating space for complementary skill players. Reports suggest that coaches are evaluating hypothetical scenarios in which Jefferson becomes the focal point of the offense, imagining how his precise route execution, speed, and agility could open new opportunities for tight ends, running backs, and slot receivers. Meanwhile, defensive coordinators in rival teams are reportedly studying film and projecting coverage strategies to counter the hypothetical juggernaut that Jefferson's presence could create. Social media and fan forums are filled with elaborate play-by-play projections, highlighting the potential for game-changing touchdowns and season-defining drives. Sources indicate that Philadelphia's front office may be consulting former players and offensive strategists to ensure that the integration is seamless, minimizing the risk of disruption to team chemistry. The speculation extends beyond pure X's and O's. It touches on the potential for Jefferson to influence the morale and confidence of his teammates, reshaping leadership dynamics and creating a winning mentality throughout the locker room. Fans are captivated by the implications, imagining a season where every defensive scheme must be recalibrated to contend with one of the league's most explosive offensive weapons, transforming the NFC landscape in profound and potentially historic ways. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. Financially and contractually, the rumored trade has sparked heated discussions about the sustainability of acquiring elite talent at the cost of future flexibility. Reports suggest that Philadelphia would need to navigate salary cap constraints carefully, balancing immediate competitive advantages against long-term strategic planning. Analysts speculate that Howie Roseman's experience in structuring complex deals could be pivotal, ensuring that Jefferson's potential contract and associated bonuses do not hinder the team's ability to maintain depth and resilience in other positions. Experts also debate how this high-profile acquisition could influence the market for other elite wide receivers, potentially setting new benchmarks for contract negotiations and player valuation across the league. Fans and commentators alike are analyzing every conceivable angle, from the projected impact on draft capital to potential cascading effects on roster construction in future seasons. Beyond numbers, insiders suggest that the psychological boost of landing Jefferson could enhance performance across the board, inspiring players to elevate their game and energizing the fan base in ways that extend far beyond the field. Social media speculation has reached unprecedented levels, with endless discussion about how Philadelphia might optimize its offensive system to maximize Jefferson's talents. While rival teams scramble to anticipate and counteract these strategic maneuvers, the combination of financial acumen, tactical planning, and speculative imagination has turned this potential trade into more than a transaction. It has become a cultural phenomenon, fueling debates that span the entire spectrum of football expertise, fandom, and strategy. Finally, the cumulative effect of these rumors has elevated the sense of anticipation to unprecedented levels. The idea that Garrett and McLaurin could join the Eagles is more than a simple transaction. It represents a potential turning point in the franchise's identity, strategy, and public perception. Fans imagine the long-term implications, from playoff runs to cultural shifts within the locker room, projecting their hopes onto a narrative that is still unfolding. Analysts debate the practicalities, weighing risks and rewards, while supporters craft elaborate mental highlight reels, envisioning games dominated by Garrett's pressure and McLaurin's explosive routes. The speculation itself has become an experience, one that engages imagination, passion, and loyalty, bridging the gap between rumor and reality. Whether or not these signings ultimately materialize, the mere possibility has revitalized the fan base, reignited media interest, and created a sense of momentum that carries beyond individual games or seasons. For Eagles supporters, the excitement is electric, the discussion's never-ending, and the anticipation for 2026 has reached levels that are both thrilling and almost unbearable, leaving everyone on edge as they wait to see whether this audacious vision of the team becomes a reality. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.